code A, and here we go.
Yep, and starting to the top left, TSL Zerg making a drone. He is TSL Shine.
Here we have him. He was so close to qualifying for Code S last season, but his own teammate defeated him, a Terran player, and now he faces another Terran. At the bottom right, we have the Casper player for STX. Is it last?
Yeah, last. Surprising a lot of people.
Last but not least.
Yeah, certainly not. We thought maybe first and last would play against each other.
That would have been a dream come true.
They may one day. We still haven't had the Hero versus Hero. By the way, Hero will be playing later on tonight.
Yeah.
I'll keep you guys hanging on which one it's going to be. Maybe you can do your research on that one, or...
we have 3 heroes by now.
Yeah. Actually, there's probably more of them out there we don't even know about. There are probably undiscovered heroes.
This is going to be a really interesting game, as we have once again a huge map, and with the cross positions, the biggest distance possible. And of course, this is a map where you can go for a variety of strategies as Zerg player. You can go for the Ultralist transition, you can go for Broodlords. Broodlords have the disadvantage that it's really kind of easy to run past them and try to go for a counter-attack, try to force them out of position. But it all depends on what exactly Last is going to do. If he decides to go for mech once again, then he basically forces Shine into a composition with Broodlords, because Ultralists are not really a great choice against mech.
I think he will actually go mech again. He's going to Command Center first, and if he decides to make that refinery like we saw, then I think it'll be pretty clear he's just going to follow up with the same build that we saw on Whirlwind. And there it is. There's the refinery. And this is a map where players like MVP do this build almost every time they roll a Zerg in the tournament. They're just like, well, this is a great map for mech. I can Command Center first here. And he's just doing it. The drone does see everything. The question is, did he see the gas?
Yeah, he saw it.
Okay, yeah.
He saw the gas first and then went to scout the command center. But I'm actually a little bit surprised that we don't see the double hatch before pool for Shine. This is a strategy that is really popular for the TSL players. TSL Zergs really love to do it when they see command center first from their opponent, to go for a double hatch before they start with the spawning pool. But he decides to start with the pool and then places down the hatch. But right now he has all the scouting information that he needs, so he knows what's coming, at least for the early stages of the game, and he can just adjust accordingly. He can play it a little bit greedy, and so far we don't see gas for Shine. He's just going for the double queen right now, and will most likely get additional queens, play it a little bit greedy in the early game.
Yeah. I think mech on this map has a few weaknesses. You get a very easy throw on this map. This is a reason why Zerg players dislike this map against Protoss, for example. The same thing can be said of mech on this map. You get an easy third base. You defend all your bases with your siege tanks, your supply depot walls, and then the Zerg has to figure out how to engage. But a lot of people like roach drops on this map as well to face mech, and that's one thing we will probably see. TSL Zergs really know how to roach drop well, and if he can drop on top of the siege tanks, for example, that's one way you can win an engagement. Will he aggressively try to attack the third with Mutalisks? We've seen that already on game number 1, a big number of Mutalisks coming to try to harass and also pick off those mech units. I think that was one way that he really kept that mech army away from his faraway bases using those Mutalisks. How many Banshees will we see from Last? Yeah. All these questions are going to be answered fairly soon.
Exactly. And well, while we're having a little bit of downtime here and just waiting for those to start their unit composition, I want to actually use this chance to send a quick shout out to Shellshock from Team Liquid, who does an amazing job just recently and also today of covering for all the people who can't tune into the live stream and are at work or at school and have to rely on written coverage. So thanks. Yeah. Thank you very much. Amazing job, and it's really appreciated.
That's actually awesome that he does that. A lot of people really benefit from that. I myself, if I can't connect to GOM when I'm on the subway, for example, or going to meet somebody, I love to read those threads and get up-to-date messages on what's going on. So thank you so much for doing that.
Talking about what's going on, right now we have a halfway done lair tag pretty early in the game on 2 bases for Shine. He's not going for this third base early on. He has the rocks between the natural and the third, so it's always a little bit tricky, especially against Hellions. So he decides to go for the fast attack, even with his Minecrawler to be on the defensive here. And the added extractors as well, which give him a lot of gas so that he can transition right after the lair tag is done, either in the Mutalisk tag or in Infestors, which will be so much useful later on as well.
By the way, Last is not going for mech. He started barracks. He decided to change it up here a little bit.
And there's the Spire.
Yeah, Spire goes down. How many drones did they kill here is so important. I think they get about 6. Oh wow, he stacked them up by mistake.
A lot of drones that are actually dying. Wow, Last is doing an amazing job. And just look at how they don't have a lot of defense. Shine was really banking his hopes on his opponent not attacking. 14 drones have been killed, and this reduces, of course, the income for Shine significantly right now.
Calderi's going to go for a Marauder Hellion follow-up. He's making triple Marauders now. He's got Stim on the way. This is such a scary thing to face as a Zerg player. If you do not scout it, if you do not make a lot of spine crawlers, you're never going to hold this. You know, some people like to use Mutalisks to defend this. The timing of this is going to be so important because if he gets enough Mutas out, none of those units can attack air, and he can just defend with his Mutas with a few spine crawlers. But if he only has a few Mutas, or if the Mutas are out of position, then the Marauders and Hellions will just kill everything. This is a funny situation that we're going to have here. He still hasn't seen the barracks yet, and his Overlord will not.
It's really a little bit crazy at this point, because once again, Shine is basically on the ropes. He has to be really careful. As you already said, all the units that Last is building cannot really attack air. The Mutalisks are building, but the problem is also that he has to take all these units down before they can do damage, and this is not going to be easy.
Oh,
he even pulls his SCVs, and there is not a lot for Shine. He even skipped on his everything earlier, on the Evolution Chamber, on the Baneling Nest. He didn't get any Zerglings. He was really hoping that on a map like this, Last would try to go for the macro game, but Last is now moving across the map. The Mutalisks are building. They are actually spawning right now. His opponent doesn't have the anti-air, but can Shine kill him before he does damage?
That's going to be the most crucial question. This is what Korean casters mean when they say Ihan timing. He's got to do the damage. He's got to do it now. Has he hit the timing? Has he missed it? The Mutas going to work already, and the Spine Crawler doing some work here at the top of the ramp. He needs to transfuse it, and he's going to lose his Queen.
He does a nice job so far, keeping those units at bay, and most of the Marauders are already gone. This is looking pretty good for Shine. He has more and more Mutalisks coming in, and it worked! GG, and look at Shine at the bottom left. He was really, really scared this last game.
That was
pumping.
That was a scary situation right there. He barely had the Mutas out in time.
But if you think about it, think about how fast these Mutalisks actually were. He was going for a very, very fast Muta attack. Usually you have those Mutalisks, if you go for a normal timing, arriving at your opponent's base at the 11th minute mark. And right now, Shine, he basically cut 1 minute out of his build in order to make sure that the Mutalisks were in the map super early. If not for that, this attack would have hit him at the perfect timing and would have taken out at least the natural, but probably just everything and ended the game.
Yeah, you're right. It was a risky move by both players, actually. And Last just getting the worst end of the deal there. A very all-in strategy that we saw. I mean, he pulled all his SCVs, but at the end of the day, we're going to have another 5-minute break. Shine will advance. We'll be able to go back to the up and down matches where he came. And then next up, we're going to have Alive against Hero, so stay tuned.